It's kind of been interesting to me to see how the whole Batista returning saga has played out for the WWE in 2014, especially amongst the internet wrestling community. Because when the announcement was made, when it was revealed that Batista was indeed coming back to the WWE, whether a lot of people want to admit it or not, there was a lot of excitement, a lot of buzz that was generated. They're like, oh my God, he's been gone for a few years. It's going to be great to see Batista come back. I can't wait to see at some point in time him come back as heel Batista, because heel Batista was freaking awesome. Now, to be fair, there were some people that were like, no, I didn't like Batista before. I'm not going to pretend like I like him now. And I could respect that. But a lot of other people, including a lot of those that seem to forget their thought process just 4 short months ago, a lot of people were on the Batista bandwagon full bore. They were completely freaking excited, and they were ready to go. They wanted the animal back in the WWE. And then Batista came back on the Raw before the Royal Rumble, and all the focus seemed to be on his skinny jeans, and then the realization was starting to hit people that Batista might indeed be coming back to the WWE to win the 2014 Royal Rumble and go on to main event WrestleMania 30, get a shot at the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and Daniel Bryan wouldn't be doing the same. So it was interesting all of a sudden as this whole thing came about at Royal Rumble, and that realization hit with people, which it should have hit from the beginning, that the plan all along was to have Batista win the Royal Rumble, not Daniel Bryan. Once Batista actually won the Royal Rumble, people were pissed. People were outraged. They're like, this guy comes back, he's gassed after a couple of minutes. How the fuck are they going to do this? Here's another freaking Breakfast Club member, another 40 or over guy, another old face, same place, WWE's pushing him down our face. And they said, screw Daniel Bryan. And a lot of people were upset. And I get the whole thing of being a little upset about a guy like Batista coming back and being thrust into a top spot right away and not being physically prepared for that top spot. Because let's face it, when he came back, he was gassed at the Royal Rumble after a couple of minutes. His match at Elimination Chamber, he was gassed after a couple of minutes. You know, he didn't come back in very good ring shape, which I was a little bit disappointed about because you've been gone 3.5, almost 4 years. You would think you would come back for one last big run at the top, that you would do everything possible to prepare yourself physically, mentally, everything, to seize that ball, to run with that ball when given the opportunity. And it didn't seem like Batista came in fully prepared to do so. But then as you got going closer to WrestleMania 30, the WWE realized that there was a lot of resentment, a lot of anger towards Batista. So why fight it? Frankly, he's always been a better heel than a face anyways. Let's turn him heel and just go all the freaking way with it. Let's give the people what they want because we're going to probably need it. Let's put Daniel Bryan in the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, or at least give him the opportunity to do so. And then WrestleMania 30 happens. And Batista doesn't win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, which I still maintain and believe was the full original plan all along. The WWE just called an audible. And a lot of people were upset and pissed going into it because they're like, I'm done with this company if Batista wins. I'm done with this and I'm done with that. The question I have for you now that Batista's been back almost 4 months in the WWE, are you still mad at Batista? Because here's my thing. You have a guy like Batista come back. To me, it's always believable. It's always legit to have a guy like him win the Royal Rumble. I'm okay with that decision. I thought it was a good decision, even if a lot of people disagree because it didn't involve their guy, Daniel Bryan. And again, I get that too, so I'm not here to argue semantics here. But I would hope at this point in time that people wouldn't be upset with Dave Batista. They wouldn't be mad at Batista anymore. If anything, maybe they would be a little bit thankful that Batista came back to the WWE. Look at what you've gotten since Batista came back to the WWE. You've gotten a legit heel, a top guy, a main event star that the WWE so desperately lacks right now, in part because of their failures and complete inability to be able to create those type of top guys, excuse me. And then at WrestleMania 30, he didn't sit there and Cena it like a Cena would do in that situation. Not only did he do the job for Daniel Bryan, I believe if I remember correctly, he tapped out to Daniel Bryan's submission maneuver. Just think about that for a second. It's what makes Daniel Bryan the Breakfast Club killer. But even when he faced John Cena at SummerSlam 2013 and John Cena had the arm injury, what better way to set up a return match down the road. What better way to tell a different story with John Cena than to have the guy that never gives up give up because Daniel Bryan took advantage of the injured arm? Well, they didn't do that. But here's Batista at WrestleMania 30 at the biggest show of them all, at a signature event, an anniversary event, if you will, where he could sit there and say, you know what? I came back. I was promised this. I was promised a Royal Rumble. I was promised a shot at the belt at WrestleMania. I was promised a title at WrestleMania. I'm not going to play ball. Not only did Batista play ball, he played ball in a big way and really put Daniel Bryan, frankly, over in a big way. And Batista was a good performer in that triple threat world title match at WrestleMania 30. And then you go on, because Batista is back, now you've got Orton, now you've got Triple H. They're all on the same side of the fence. Ta-da! Let's reform Evolution. Let's get a real deal authoritarian heel faction based off of something from the past that is still relevant and able to be used today. You've got Orton in a much better role for him. Triple H in a much better role for him. All because Batista came back, and he's also in a much better role for himself. So you've gotten Daniel Bryan winning the WWE World Heavyweight Championship via submission victory at WrestleMania 30 over Batista. Because Batista is back, you get the reformation of one of the best factions the WWE has ever had in Evolution. And then you get the excuse to have this great feud between Shield and Evolution. And then you get to Extreme Rules. And maybe at a pay-per-view where Evolution shouldn't have done the job, in part to help tell a better story and give a reason for the story to continue. Here goes Batista doing a job 100% clean to a guy who could very well be the future of the WWE in Roman Reigns. So let's look at this for a second. Batista comes back. He wins the Royal Rumble. He does the job clean via submission to Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30. He does the job 100% clean to Roman Reigns at Extreme Rules, giving him another signature victory. Because of Batista being there in a heel role, you have an excuse now to go with Evolution. And you have more stuff you could do with this Shield Evolution storyline. At some point in time, you're probably going to get some type of Batista-Roman Reigns match one-on-one down the road. You get Roman Reigns versus Triple H one-on-one down the road. So I guess my whole thing here is, when I saw this talk about Batista being upset with the company and not wanting to work with Daniel Bryan at Payback because he thought it was stupid, you know, I would buy that and I would believe that if they were talking about that coming from a John Cena. Because based off of what I've seen so far, Batista has no problem doing business, even if it's not necessarily the right thing for business. He put over Daniel Bryan 100% clean at WrestleMania 30, in spite of all the other bullshit and obstacles that Daniel Bryan Superman his ass through. And then the same thing again at Extreme Rules with the Roman Reigns. So right there in the stretch of 2 pay-per-views, Dave Batista has done more to help out the WWE, both now and long-term in the future, than a John Cena has ever fucking done. Look it up. You know what I'm talking about. Look what happens when a John Cena faces a new up-and-coming talent. See Wade Barrett. See Bray Wyatt. Are you still mad at Batista? Or has Batista's return actually been a good thing? And are you actually okay with Batista being back in the WWE? Hell, I would hope so at this point in time, because I don't think he's been an impediment to anything that you've actually wanted to see. If anything, he's only been an accentuation and an improvement on what you wanted to see. He's given you what you wanted to see. A heel Batista that ensured that Daniel Bryan won the belt at WrestleMania 30 and put over a young, fresh talent like Roman Reigns and the Shield at Extreme Rules. And may very well do the same damn thing again at Payback next month, even if they shouldn't. So I get before maybe why you were a little upset with Dave Batista. But give the man a break. He's back, and he's actually done some good things for WWE since his return. He's gotten himself into better ring shape. He's in his more natural role, I think, as kind of that prickish jerk heel. He's fucking awesome as a heel. So I wonder if you're still mad about Batista being back at WWE. I hope not. But if you are, you know what? That's just too damn bad. Because I'm glad Batista's back in the WWE. And if you don't like that, deal with it.